Marie asks, how has COVID isolation affected my faith journey, as she assumed that I was not attending church in person? Clearly, this question was asked like a year ago at this point. However, I feel like I'm going to go ahead and answer it.
Hi, I'm Roshini, a video creator, life coach, special needs mom, and wife from the Virgin Islands living in St. Louis, Missouri. Creating my joy Monday through Friday, so like and subscribe to join me.
Okay, so how has COVID isolation, or I'll expand that to how has the pandemic affected my faith journey? The first answer to that is I'm not going to church right now in person. In the past year, since March of 2020, which was the last time I went to church in person, I have physically been to church once, and that was on Father's Day, which was June 19th, 2022, because one, my husband said he wanted to go for Father's Day, and two, it was the Sunday before my son's 10th birthday, and my husband thought it would be a great surprise to take him to church because my son likes watching church online. Okay, so how has it affected my faith journey? Well, when all of this first started in March of 2020, I was devastated. I wanted to get back into the sanctuary. I was one of the people who was like, I can't wait to get back in. I'm gonna bust the door down. If you guys aren't aware, if you've ever been to your typical American Black church, and there is that lady who is always dancing in the back with her shoes off. Sometimes she got a flag, sometimes she don't, but she just have a praise on the inside, okay, in a physical form. That's me. Okay, so the role in church, I'm that chick, okay? I might not be shouting, I might not be screaming, but there will be dancing. So, of course, I experienced a loss when that place of expression was taken away, and I wanted to run back up there. And I was watching church services pretty consistently and operating in the online ministry of like putting up videos and managing the Facebook page and all that stuff that I was doing beforehand, from March all the way through to like fall of 2020. And then there was a pivot point. Okay, I'm not gonna go into the full pivot point right here, but there was a very specific thing that happened that made me realize that I was having an anxiety response to something church related. And ironically, it's something that I would not have been able to piece together if this very unique scenario of the pandemic and consistently watching church online and all of that had happened. I was just having anxiety. I don't know if I told you guys, but I have a PTSD diagnosis, if you don't know. So I was just having anxiety, and I hadn't like connected the two things. And so in the fall of 2020, when I had this aha moment, this moment of clarity where I was like, wait a minute, I feel like I'm having an anxiety response to this. I started to test that theory, and I started to realize that it was actually true for me. And so for Marie's question, what happened is I started to not watch online church as much, because clearly when you realize that it's giving you like an anxiety response, right? And so the way that the pandemic affected my faith journey is it made me start questioning some of the experiences that I was having and how they were affecting me. Like the anxiety thing, that was the first thing. And since then, it's clearly been 2 years, because it is now July of 2022 when I'm filming this. Other things have fallen into that category, like things that were in the back of my mind, but I never really had time or agency or even full conscious awareness to think like, does this feel like God to me? Does this align with what I'm actually reading when I read my Bible? Where did I get that from? Like those sorts of questions, I feel more capable and able to ask those questions in a peaceful way without having like people tell me what my thoughts are supposed to be. If that makes sense to you, if you're like in a church environment in the United States, okay? So there was just this freedom to think for myself, to read the Bible for myself, and to study to show myself approved. Okay, a workman who need not be ashamed, all right, rightly dividing the word of truth for myself. That's a scripture for those that don't know. And I started to feel peaceful in a way that I had not felt peaceful before. And I started to be able to hear God more clearly without all the extra stuff. So at this point in my journey, I am guarding that peace, which at times means setting a personal boundary around things that I previously participated in. Okay? Because listen, I'm going through this book right now. I'm setting a boundary and I found my peace. My peace is here. I have the peace with me. And so if I have the peace with me, anything I do that disrupts that peace, I don't want to do it. Like, I don't have to go get the peace anymore. The experience I was having before is I didn't have the peace. I had to go fill up on the peace, like at a gas station. But now I have the peace with me. Does that make sense? And so even if this is not just church stuff, this is just life stuff. But when it comes to like my faith walk, if there's something that actually disrupts the peace, I don't participate in it anymore. And that includes church things, faith-related things, social constructs that man created that I don't necessarily, for me, feel align with like what I'm reading in the book. Yeah. So that's how it's affected my faith walk. It has given me a forced separation from the man-made experience and the ability to objectively observe it, notice how it shows up for me in my body, read the Bible outside of that context, and decide how I want to interact with it. That's the answer to that question. Hopefully that helps somebody. Leave your questions and comments down below, because you never know, they may become the next video like this one. And until the next video, be well, be encouraged. Here's a pineapple. Bye, y'all.